My name is Andrew Rhodes and I did my DSARI project on energy storage. Energy use varies throughout the day, and increased solar and wind generation frequently don't produce energy when it is needed. Because of this, a reliable way to store energy would be very beneficial. The overall goal is the large-scale storage of energy for long periods of time. Multiple techniques may be taken advantage of in order to come to a full working solution to storing energy from when it can be generated to when it is needed. More renewable resources like wind and solar increase the need for power storage, as the wind will not always blow and the sun will not always shine. If we are to make these forms of renewable energies larger and more important, an efficient means of storing that energy for long periods of time will need to be established. Batteries have been the conventional power storage tool, but they lose power over time and are not efficient enough at storing large amounts of power for long periods of time. There have been advances in pumped hydroelectric storage and compressed air storage. As you can see in the diagram on the right, pumped hydroelectric storage refers to when there's an upper and a lower reservoir with a power generator and a pump in the middle. During times where there is an excess of power in the grid, power can be used to pump water from the lower reservoir up to the upper reservoir, and then in times where power is needed, the water can run down just like in a dam through the power generator, creating electricity. Similarly, compressed air uses a depleted gas reservoir underground to accomplish the same tasks. Wind and solar energy produce energy during the day and during windy hours. These will not always coincide with when we need to use electricity. Currently, there is almost no way to store large amounts of energy on our grid as it stands. Adding pumped hydroelectric storage can store up to 80% of the power produced by solar and wind when it isn't needed to be used later. In 1 year, California, as an example, wasted 2.2 gigawatt hours of the 44,000 they created. Based on this 80%, 1.6 gigawatt hours could have been stored and used later. This is only an example of one state, but one can see how useful this would be for the entire electricity grid in general. For my Do Something portion, I attended an IPS Power Hour at Surly Brewing Company, where the speaker spoke about their company IPS along with its solar installations, a recently introduced tax bill affecting corporations considering solar panels, and also energy storage. The energy storage they were considering was primarily between corporations and the general grid. This Power Hour was focused on corporations, the solar industry, and their connections with power generation and storage. It was not the most informative presentation for this topic, however, it did offer great insight into the actual way in which these renewable changes are implemented. In addition, to fulfill the 3-hour requirement, I watched a Frontiers in the Environment seminar online related to energy storage. With variable renewable energies becoming more used, energy storage is more important than ever before. Having a large-scale way to store energy produced when it isn't needed will cut electricity waste and make the system more efficient overall. These storage techniques vary by region, the amount of money available, and the amount of energy needed to be stored. For these reasons, pumped hydroelectric, compressed air, and battery storage are more common and will continue to grow as we continue developing our renewable energy production. Here are the references and sources cited and utilized throughout this presentation.